hari ini waktu. Good evening, friends. Pinwatuni. Welcome to our online broadcast here from the London Mindfulness Meditation Center. We go live at 7 o'clock, enabling you to participate in our religious observances during this rains retreat and the holy month of Kathina rope offering. So ever since the commencement of the rains retreat, we have gone online, sharing our observances to support your religious practice, commitment, to enhance your knowledge in the Dhamma, as well as to enhance your spiritual practices. So the religious observances, as you know, include worshipping the Buddha, observing precepts, worshipping the Buddha, reflection and chanting, and meditation. So every day we have been meditating on loving kindness, and on Thursdays, deepening our practice or mindfulness meditation, deepening our or practicing mindfulness and learning how to develop mindfulness on Thursdays. So it has been a great opportunity for many people, especially during the time of restrictions, during when people are not able to congregate at places of worship. This has been a great support for people to engage and participate, especially in the series of programs from home and wherever you are. And it has not just been an opportunity to accumulate merit and dedicate to your loved ones who have passed away, but also to dedicate and receive blessings depending on the occasion of each individual sponsors. So today we have Mrs. Anika Ranasinghe and Mr. Chatur Ranasinghe, along with their son Caden and parents Sandhya and Suraj Veeraratna, and also brother Aaron Veeraratna, who would like to dedicate this to their beloved ones who have passed away. The grandparents of Mrs. Anika Ranasinghe, Mr. George Veeraratna, and also Mr. Senika Jayatilaka, Mrs. Indrani Piris, and her uncle, Mr. Parkum Jayatilaka, and also the grandparents of Chatura Ranasinghe, Mr. Sirisoma Ranasinghe, Mrs. Violet Ranasinghe, and Mr. Terry Dharmasena and Mrs. Padmini Dharmasena, to share merit with those beloved ones. Having accumulated merit, we will do the dedication after our chanting. They would also like to bless, especially on the upcoming birthdays of Miss Dinugi Samarkon, Mr. Chatur Ranasinghe, Mr. Aaron Veeraratna, Mrs. Anika Ranasinghe, and Mrs. Shirani Ranasinghe, to bless them for their good health, happiness, success and prosperity, and also wishing them happy birthday ahead that is upcoming. They'd like to also share merit with their beloved ones, and also bless the upcoming birthdays who are celebrating their birthdays. As our tradition, we also share the merit with you for your well-being. All the merit accumulated is also dedicated to you as an online community for your well-being, especially good health and happiness. We also dedicate this to anyone who may be ill, for their well-being and speedy recovery, and also to all our key workers for their peace of mind, for their happiness, especially good health, and also may they develop courage and determination to continue their valuable services to the nation. So all in all, may you all be well, happy and peaceful. Stay safe during this pandemic and difficult times ahead. May you be blessed by the Noble Triple Gem for wholesome and complete well-being. So with those great righteous intentions, let us now begin our worship by observing 5 precepts. So please say Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa 3 times. Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi Saṅghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi Dutiyampi buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi Dutiyampi dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi Dutiyampi saṅghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi Tatiyampi buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi Tatiyampi dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi Tatiyampi saṅghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi Pānātipātā vīramani sikkhapaдаṃ samādhiyāmi Adinādānā vīramani sikkhapadaṃ samādhiyāmi Kāmesu miccācārā vīramani sikkhapadaṃ samādhiyāmi Musāvādā vīramani sikkhapadaṃ samādhiyāmi Surāmiraya majjapamā daṭṭhānā vīramani sikkhapadaṃ samādhiyāmi Tisaraṇena saddhiṃ pañcasīlaṃ dhammaṃ sādhukaṃ surakkhitāṃ kattvā appamādena sampādetabbam. Let's worship the Buddha together. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Itipiso bhagavā arahaṃ samma sambuddho. Vijjācarane sampanno sugato lokavidu. Anuttaro purisa dhamma sarathi sattā deva manussānaṃ buddho bhagavāti. Buddhaṃ jīvita pariyantaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. ye ce buddha atita ce ye ce buddha anagata paccapanna ce ye buddha ahang vandami sabbada Natti me saranang anyang buddha me saranang varang etena sacca vajjena hotu me jaya mangalang uttamangena vandehang padapangsa varuttamang buddheyo khalito doso buddho kamatu tang mamang swakhato bhagavata dhammo sandittiko akaliko ehi passiko opanayiko paccattang veditabbo vinyuhiti Dhammang jivita pariyantang saranang gacchami ye ca dhamma atita ca ye ca dhamma anagata paccapanna ca ye dhamma ahang vandami sabbada natti me saranang anyang Dhammo me saranang varang etena sacca vajjena hotu me jaya mangalang uttamangena vandehang dhamman ca tividhang varang dhammiyo khalito doso dhammo kamatu tang mamang Supatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Ujjapatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Nyayapatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Samici patipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Yadidang cattari purisa yugani Attha purisa puggala Esa bhagavato savaka sangho Ahuneyo pahuneyo Dakhineyo anjali karaniyo Anuttarang punyakhetang lokasati Sanghang jivita pariyantang saranang gacchami Ye ca sangha atita ca ye ca sangha anagata paccapanna ca ye sangha ahang vandami sabbada natti me saranang anyang sangho me saranang varang etena sacca vajjena hotu me jaya mangalang uttamangena vandehang sangham ca tividhottamang sangheyo khalito doso sangho kamatu tang mamang Ghanasarappadittena dīpena tamadhangsina Tiloka dīpang sambuddhang pujayami tamonudang Vanna gandha gunopetang etang kusuma santating Pujayami munindassa Siripada saroruhe Pujemi buddhang kusumena nena Punyena mitena ca hotu mokkhaṃ Pupphaṃ milayāti yatāi dhamme Kayo tatayati vinasa bhavang Adhivasetunu bhante Paniyang parikappitang Anukampang upadaye patiganhatu uttame Adhivasetunu bhante Gilana paccayang imang Anukampang upadaye patiganhatu uttame Adhivasetunu bhante Besajjang parikappitang Anukampang upadaye patiganhatu uttame Adhivasetunu bhante Sabbang saddhaya pujitang Anukampang upadaye patiganhatu uttame Vandami cetiyang sambang sambatani supatititang Saririka dhatu mahabodhing buddha rupang sakalang sada Yassa mule nisinnove sabbari vijayang aka Pato sabbanyutang sattha Vande tang bodhipadapang Ime ete mahabodhi Lokanatene pujita Ahampite namassami Bodhiraja namattute Kayena vaca cittene pamadene maya katang Acchayang kamame bante buripanye tathagate Kayena vaca cittene pamadene maya katang Acchayang kamame dhamme sanditthike akalike Kayena vaca cittene pamadene maya katang Acchayang kamame sangha supatipanne anuttara Ettavata ca amhehi sambhatang punya sampadang Sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya Ettavata ca amhehi sambhatang punya sampadang Sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya Ettavata ca amhehi sambhatang punya sampadang Sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya Idamme ñātinang hotu sukhita hontu ñātayo Idamme ñātinang hotu sukhita hontu ñātayo Idamme ñātinang hotu sukhita hontu ñātayo Imina punya kammene mami bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yava nibbana pattiya Idamme punyang asavakkaya vahang hotu samba dukkha pamuncatu Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So that is the end of our worship this evening. So we are going to chant the Parita Suttas to bless you in a few moments. Simply to remind you of that our robe offering ceremony is on the 24th of October, not this Saturday but next Saturday. The robe offering ceremony is the culmination of our series of programs, and that is one of the most important wholesome deeds, or we call Attamaha Kusala, Attamaha Kusal. So the first of the 8 wholesome, meritorious, wholesome deed would be being able to offer Katina robe. And during this entire 3 months, many devotees have contributed to the program, and therefore you are part of the program. So the merit that you will be accumulating by participating in the robe offering ceremony will also be you are part of the robe offering ceremony. So all merit accumulated by that offering will be shared with all of you for your well-being and happiness. So we have Attivisati Buddha Puja, that is offering to the made to the 28 Buddhas in the past. We are also offering medicinal drinks to the Buddha, especially during this time of pandemic. People normally do such offerings, so we are making the offerings to the Buddha, and there will also be opportunity for you to offer Atta Parikara, again dedicating to anyone who would like to remember. So Atta Parikara is also one of the second most important offerings that you could make in the Theravada Buddhist tradition. That is because it is the support or maintaining the Sangha, the symbol of the maintenance of the Sangha, by which we are also then maintaining the triple gem. So that opportunity is also there to offer robes as well to the 28 Buddhas, and also venerable monks that are participating will also be offering Atta Parikara robes to those venerable monks. So if you have any intentions to participate, please do contact us and we will direct you to the organizers so that you can participate, either coming to offer during the week in a given time, and then participate on the 24th of October from home, wherever you are. So further details will be sent by email and text messages to you, so explaining everything again. But just a short announcement to inform you that the series of program is terminating on the 24th of October along with our robe offering ceremony. So that is also part of this series. So today the sponsors, Mrs. Aneka Ranasinghe and Mr. Chatur Ranasinghe, along with Caden Ranasinghe, beloved son, and also beloved parents of Aneka, Sandhya and Suraj Veeraratna, and brother Aaron Veeraratna, and niece Dinugi Samar Kaun are wishing blessings for the upcoming birthdays. So Miss Dinugi Samar Kaun, Mr. Chatur Ranasinghe, Mr. Aaron Veeraratna, Mrs. Aneka Ranasinghe and Mrs. Shirani Ranasinghe. So we would like to bless the Noble Triple Gem. May the blessings of the Noble Triple Gem be upon them for their well-being, for their good health and happiness. May you have a very happy birthday ahead. May your future be very successful. May all merit accumulated by participating in this observance be conducive for your well-being, for your good health and happiness, and most importantly, may you all stay safe and be protected by the blessings of the Noble Triple Gem. And as always, we also dedicate this chanting for the well-being of all of us in the online community. May you also stay safe and be blessed by the Noble Triple Gem. May you be protected during this pandemic. May all your righteous aspirations also be fulfilled. And as always, if you know or have anyone who are ill, please do bear them in your thoughts, wishing them speedy recovery and also good health throughout. And if they are undergoing any treatment, may they be successful and may they rejoice and enjoy good health thereafter. And as mentioned before, we always dedicate this to all our key workers for their well-being, good health and happiness. May they also develop courage and determination to continue their valuable services, looking after the patient and their families as well as the nation. So with those kind, righteous intentions, we are going to chant the Ratana Sutta and Jai Paritta, blessing all of you. The Ratana Sutta was uttered by the Buddha during pandemic, not like now, but it was pandemic during that time. There was similar environmental nature was there in the city of Isala, and upon request the Buddha blessed the city with these verses, and at the end of every verse we say Etena Satchena Swati Hotu. May the utterance of this truth and may the utterance or may the virtues embodied in these sayings be conducive for the well-being of you. And we believe that the compassion of the Buddha is within these words. And when we also chant and listen out of compassion and faith, similar blessings are bestowed upon. And may you all be well, happy and peaceful. That is our key intention. So again, may all the people who are, may all the sponsors and all the upcoming people who are celebrating their upcoming birthdays, may you enjoy good health. May you have a very happy birthday. Samanta Chakravalesu Atra Gacchantu Devata Saddhammang Munirajassa Sunantu Sagga Mokkadang Parittasavana Kalu Ayang Badanta Parittasavana Kalu Ayang Badanta Paritta Dhamma Savana Kalu Ayang Badanta Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Yani Bhutani Samagatani Bhummani Vayani Vayantalikhe Sambheva Bhuta Sumana Bhavantu Atopi Sakkacca Sunantu Bhasitam Tasmahi Bhutani Samitha Sabbe Mittam Karotha Manusiya Pajaye Divacharatto Chaharanti E Baling Tasmahi Nirakkata Appamatta Yang Kinchi Vittang Idhavahurang Vasagye Suvayang Ratanang Panitang Nano Samang Attitathāgatena Idampi Buddhe Ratanang Panitang Etena Satchena Suvatti Hotu Khayang Viragang Amatang Panitang Yadajjaga Sakya Muni Samahito Natena Dhammena Samatti Kinche Idampi Dhamme Ratanang Panitang Etena Satchena Suvatti Hotu Yang Buddha Setta Parivannai Sucing Samadhimanantari Kanyamahu Samadhina Tena Samona Vijjati Idampi Dhamme Ratanang Panitang Etena Satchena Suvatti Hotu Ye Puggala Attha Satang Pasattha Chattari Etani Yugani Honti Te Dakhineya Sugatassa Savaka Ete Sudinnani Mahapalani Idampi Sanghe Ratanang Panitang Etena Satchena Suvatti Hotu Ye Suppayutta Manasa Dalhene Nikamino Gotama Sasanamhi Te Patti Patta Amatang Vigaiha Laddha Mudha Nibbuting Bunjamana Idampi Sanghe Ratanang Panitang Etena Satchena Suvatti Hotu Yathinda Kilo Pathaving Sitosiya Chatubbivatebi Asampekampiyo තථූපමං සප්පුරිසං වදාමි යෝ වරිය සච්චානි අවෙච්ච පස්සති ඉදම්පි සංඝේ රතනං පනීතං ඒතේන සච්චේන සුවත්ති හෝතු යේ අරිය සච්චානි විභාවයන්තේ ගම්භීර පඤ්ඤේන සුදේසිතානි කිංචාපිතේ හොන්ති බුසප්පමත්තා නතේ භවං අට්ඨමං ආදියන්ති ඉදම්පි සංඝේ රතනං පනීතං ඒතේන සච්චේන සුවත්ති හෝතු සහවස්ස දස්සන සම්පදාය තයස්සු ධම්මා ජහිතා භවන්ති සක්කාය දිට්ඨි විචිකිච්ඡිතං ච සීලබ්බතං වාපි යදත්ති කිංචි චතුහ පායේහි ච විප්පමුත්තෝ චචාබිඨානානි අබබ්බෝ කාතුං ඉදම්පි සංඝේ රතනං පනීතං ඒතේන සච්චේන සුවත්ති හෝතු කිංචාපි සෝකම්මං කරෝති පාපකං කායේන වාචා උදචේතසාවා අබබ්බසෝ තස්ස පටිච්චාදාය අබබ්බතා දිට්ඨ පදස්ස වුත්තා ඉදම්පි සංඝේ රතනං පනීතං ඒතේන සච්චේන සුවත්ති හෝතු වනප්පගුම්බේ යථා පුස්සිතග්ගේ ගිම්හාන මාසේ පඨමස්මින් ගිම්හේ තථූපමං ධම්ම වරං අදේසයි නිබ්බානගාමින් පරමං හිතාය ඉදම්පි බුද්ධේ රතනං පනීතං ඒතේන සච්චේන සුවත්ති හෝතු වරෝ වරඤ්ඤ වරදෝ වරාහරෝ අනුත්තරෝ ධම්ම වරං අදේසයි ඉදම්පි බුද්ධේ රතනං පනීතං ඒතේන සච්චේන සුවත්ති හෝතු කීනං පුරාණං නවං නත්ති සම්භවං විරත්ත චිත්තා ආයතිකේ භවස්මින් තේකීන බීජා අවිරුල්හිච්ඡන්දා නිබ්බන්ති ධීරා යථායං පදීපෝ ඉදම්පි සංඝේ රතනං පනීතං ඒතේන සච්චේන සුවත්ති හෝතු යානීද භූතානි සමාගතානි බුම්මානි වායානි වයන්තලික්ඛේ තථාගතං දේව මනුස්ස පූජිතං බුද්ධං නමස්සාම සුවත්ති හෝතු යානීද භූතානි සමාගතානි බුම්මානි වායානි වයන්තලික්ඛේ තථාගතං දේව මනුස්ස පූජිතං ධම්මං නමස්සාම සුවත්ති හෝතු යානීද භූතානි සමාගතානි බුම්මානි වායානිව අන්තලික්ඛේ තථාගතං දේව මනුස්ස පූජිතං සංඝං නමස්සාම සුවත්ති හෝතු ඒතේන සච්ච වජ්ජේන දුක්ඛාවුපසමෙන්තු තේ ඒතේන සච්ච වජ්ජේන භයාවුපසමෙන්තු තේ ඒතේන සච්ච වජ්ජේන රෝගාවුපසමෙන්තු තේ සිරිධිති මති තේජෝ ජය සිද්ධි මහිද්දි මහා ගුණං අපරිමිත පුඤ්ඤාධිකාරස්ස සබ්බන්තරාය නිවාරණ සමත්තස්ස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස ද්වත්තිං සමහා පුරිස ලක්ඛනානුභාවේන අසිත්‍යනෝ ව්‍යංජන ලක්ඛනානුභාවේන අට්ඨුත්තර සත මංගල ලක්ඛනානුභාවේන සබ්බන්නරං ස්යානුභාවේන කේතුමාලානුභාවේන දස පාරමිතානුභාවේන Dasa upaparamitanuභාවේන Dasa paramatta paramitanuභාවේන Sīla samadhi paññānuභාවේන Buddhānuභාවේන Dhammānuභාවේන Saṅghānuභාවේන Tejānuභාවේන Iddhānuභාවේන Balānuභාවේන Ñeya Dhammānuභාවේන Caturāsīti sahassa Dhammakkhandānuභāvේන Navalokuttara Dhammānuභāvේන Atthangika Maggānuභāvේන Atta Samāpattyanuභāvේන Chala-viññānuභāvේන Metta Karunā Mudita Upekkhanuභāvේන Sambha Paramitanuභāvේන Ratanattaya Sarananuභāvේන Tvihang Sabba Roga Soka Upaddava Dukkha Domanasupāyāsā Vinassantu Sabba Saṅkappa Tvihang Samijjantu Dīghāyuko Hotu Satavassa Jīvena Samangiko Hotu Sabbadā Ākāsa Pambata Vanabhūmi Tatāka Gangā Mahāsamudda Ārakkaka Devatā Sadā Tumhe Anurakkantu Sabba Buddhānuභāvේන Sabba Dhammānuභāvේන Sabba Saṅghānuභāvේන Buddha Ratanaṁ Dhamma Ratanaṁ Saṅgha Ratanaṁ Tinnang Ratanānaṁ Anuභāvේන Caturāsīti sahassa Dhammakkhandānuභāvේන Pitakattayānuභāvේන Jinasāvakānuභāvේn Sambete roga sambete bhaya sambete antarāya sambete upaddava sambete dunnimittā sambete avamangala vinassantu Āyu vaddhako dhana vaddhako siri vaddhako yasa vaddhako bala vaddhako vanna vaddhako sukha vaddhako hotu sabbadā dukkha roga bhaya vera soka sabbe paddavā aneka antarāyāpi vinassantu ca tejasā jaya siddhi dhanang labhaṃ sotti bhāgyaṃ sukhang balaṃ Siriyāyuca vannoca bhogaṃ buddhi ca yasavā satavassāca āyuca jīva siddhi bhavantu te Ākāsattha ca bhummattha devānāgā mahiddhikā puññantaṃ anumoditvā chiraṃ rakkhantu loka sāsanaṃ Ākāsattha ca bhummattha devānāgā mahiddhikā puññantaṃ anumoditvā chiraṃ rakkhantu dhamma desanaṃ Ākāsattha ca bhummattha devānāgā mahiddhikā puññantaṃ anumoditvā chiraṃ rakkhantu maṃ paranti Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So the chanting was to bless you all for your good health, happiness, success and prosperity, and especially during this time of difficulty. May you stay safe and be protected by the blessings of the Triple Gem. And further, may all your righteous aspirations also be fulfilled. So with those intentions, we completed the chanting of Ratana Sutta and Jai Paritta. So now we are going to spend a few minutes reflecting on the stanzas from the Dhammapada, which due to our network issues and we couldn't do recently, so we are again going to commence. So for the next 10 minutes we'll refer to some stanza and reflect. So for those who are completely new, we have been reflecting during this rains retreat the verses from the Dhamma. It is a book with Buddha's advice given on many occasions, and they are collected into 26 chapters. There are 423 verses, and not necessarily are they for monks but also for people, but in essence it is just a reflection or reference as an advice by the Buddha depending on that situation. So we have finished Papavagga, the chapter on evil. Now this is the 10th chapter, Dandavagga, the rod of punishment. So I believe we can finish this chapter before the Kathina rope offering ceremony, hopefully. If not, we will find some other time. So the first stanza, which is the 129th in the Dhammapada, but the first in this chapter, is about not killing or not harming. And this is widely referred stanza by many people, not just monks but also scholars. So, Sabbe tasanti dandassa, sabbe bahayanti macchuno. All tremble at the rod, which is punishment. All fear death. Attanang upamankatva nahaneyya naghataye. This is one of the most striking references which I have found, and this is quite commonly used. Attanang upamankatva, taking yourself as an example or comparing yourself with others. And it's quite important when people do things, do engage in things, we need to think. In general, we call this putting yourself into those shoes. So, attanang upamankatva, comparing oneself with others. One should neither strike nor cause to strike. Nahanaya naghataye. So, you shouldn't be causing, or you shouldn't do the action yourself. So, a quick reference to the story, the background on this. Once this is went over a temple during the Buddha's time. So once a group of bhikkhus were cleaning up a building in the Jetana monastery with the intention of occupying it, when they were interrupted in their task by another group of monks who had arrived at the scene. The bhikkhus who had come later told the first group of bhikkhus who were cleaning the building, "We are elderly and more senior to you, so you had better accord to every respect and give way to us. We are going to occupy this place, and nothing will stop us from doing so." However, the first group of bhikkhus resisted the unwelcome intrusion by the senior bhikkhus and did not give in to their demands, whereupon they were beaten up by the senior bhikkhus till they could not bear the beatings and cried out in pain. So obviously then now this incident went to the Buddha, and then the Buddha uttered. And in the second stanza it says about sabbe tasanti dandasa sabbe jivitang piyang. So all tremble at the rod, life is dear to all. And I think we need to reflect on the second line in both verses, and the rest goes as the same. Taking yourself as an example, one should not cause or cause to strike. So my reflection is going to go on sabbe bhayanti macchuno, everyone fears death, and sabbe jivitam piyang, which is quite similar, everyone likes their or loves their personal life. And especially in the light of today's situation, we can see that taking yourself an example in terms of even the pandemic, we would not like to be in a situation to be in a point of suffering. So therefore, taking measurements to look after ourselves is quite important as well. However, the other reflection I wanted to share would be about, in Buddhism, obviously, if you look at the first Buddhist precept, it is about the precept that you take voluntarily. You undertake the precept to abstain from harming living beings. And this is the concept about living and let live, or you understand interdependence and therefore not be a cause for harming someone else. Reflecting from the Buddha's story as well, life story, you can see how when he was a young prince, he saw that even creatures were being or insects were being killed during the plowing of fields, and actually got shaken by it. He felt sad and sorrow, and his compassion was quite great, that every person suffers, even beings suffer, and sometimes the suffering is caused by the lack of perhaps moral conscience, or the lack of or what we call moral evil, humans causing each other to suffer, or even animals causing each other to suffer, perhaps due to praying. So the second instance we can see even in his stories about the swan, when his cousin shot at the swan fell deep down into near his feet, and then there was a bit of an argument where the cousin Devadatta asked for the swan, claiming that he had shot it and therefore the swan belongs to him, which obviously the intention was to take its life. Whereas the prince had actually taken the arrow out and put medicine and soothed it and was trying to give life. So therefore the sharp contrast about taking and giving, or being in a point of absence of fear, which we call abhaya, or absence of or granting life, is the absence of fear. So the swan actually was obviously nearing the prince more, and when they couldn't sort this quarrel out, they took it to the elders, and then obviously even they couldn't sort it out, so they put the two princes on either side and put the swan in between. And you can see how the swan would not have did not go to the cousin who shot at it, who shot the arrow at it, who aimed the arrow at it, but the swan apparently went to the prince, who gave it its life back. So looking at the second stanza, Sabbe Jivitamping, everyone loves their personal life, and taking that moment as to understand that the life is precious. It's a human life that we have, and we have high rational thinking capacity, and yet if people engage in causing harm to others or wishing harm to others, that would not be right. The moral conscience would not be good, so they lack that conscience. So therefore anything done out of intention would be wrong, that would cause harm to others. And as much as you or one would not want to have been hit or have been killed or have been subject to illness or pain and suffering, we would not want to be a cause for others as well. In the similar way, we would not want to cause harm to others, or would cause any danger to others, or would even cause any form of negative even emotions or negative damage or cause damage to the other's life. Sometimes when I look at this precept about harming others, I think there are lots of ways we might indirectly cause harm, and therefore not just actively causing harm. So actively causing harm would be going up front and having an argument or fight, or even taking a life, whether it is an insect or whether it is a creature or whether it is a fly, bird, animal, whatever it is. The precept is not just about taking life, but about harming other beings. And when you cause of harming, it is about what might we do unintentionally to harm others. Now, harming then indirectly would be about losing your mindfulness in terms of the person's well-being. So therefore this is what we have been reflecting in Metta Bhavana, which we will also reflect soon. Every whole 3 months we have been doing Metta Bhavana, is to develop this awareness of friendship and well-being. So even if you have a conversation over the phone, if you are not mindful the way you speak, you might not see the person, but perhaps a person might get hurt. The person might get hurt about what you say, and therefore we even have a precept called Parusa Vacha. You will not engage in harsh speech, or you will not even engage in gossip or in terms of slandering or backbiting nature of your speech, which if the person becomes aware of it later on would actually really get hurt. So getting emotionally hurt, or even causing emotional, what we might say, bullying or intimidation, would be something that we have to be mindful of. So in terms of harming others, it's not just physically but also mentally. It's not just directly but also indirectly. And therefore, when it comes into life and death issues, if it is about taking life, surely as much as you would love your own life and would not want to lose the life, similarly other people or other beings might not also like to have their lives taken away. So therefore that precept is quite a strong precept, because that is also it's sort of echoing everywhere, even in the precept of the monks, even in the precept of the nuns, even as lay people, the first precept. And if it is the first precept, first thing that a person might want to think about, even in the path of spirituality, they should definitely have to learn how to master that. Otherwise, the spiritual path, the first thing in the spiritual path, which is what we call Sile Patitai Narasapanyo in Pali, you have to establish yourself in that morality to start developing your mindset in terms of your mental or your spiritual advancement. If a person cannot restrain oneself in that one simple precept of not harming, it might be quite difficult struggle for a person to actually advance in other ways. So therefore, there is the whole Metta Sutta talks about how one actually needs to conduct oneself and how one needs to actually prepare oneself to be showing love. So therefore, if one actually develops ill will continuously, then, or if one actually has the tendency to get frustrated and irritated for simple reasons, that has to be slowly addressed, so that one might not cause harm even to yourself, either physically or even emotionally. So then there need to be support in place, and perhaps even approached to different people for support when one actually has that sort of condition, simply because that is what we are addressing, the point where one can be without fear, of the point where one can actually contribute to the fearlessness. That's why in Buddhism, the three types of dana, or generosity, or even making availability, would be materialistic things to let go of your cravings, to contribute to fearlessness, which you call abhayadana, is to eradicate or get rid of anger and ill will in your own mindsets. And that is a strong practice which is quite well known with the word metta and loving kindness, which we have to practice day in, day out, not just during your eyes closed and sitting meditation time, but in actual practice, in actual events of the day. So when you talk to someone, when you engage or interact with someone, how loving can you be? How fearlessness environment can you generate? If someone was in a tense mode, the environment is also in a very tense and unpreferable format. So that would be a very good platform for someone to develop this mindfulness and not be in a position that causes harm to someone else. So in essence, the way you talk, the way you interact matters a lot, because that might cause harm. That might be a reason, if you don't actually control yourself, it might be a reason where you develop ill will and anger, which then completely make the experiences of both parties quite odd. So therefore, being able to be in a situation where one can give correct advice and correct tone of language and pitch might really make a big difference. So when someone talks about physical harm, then obviously there is a restraint one might be able to do. But when it is about mental harm, we have to then think twice the way we conduct ourselves. Physical harm might be easily, perhaps, hopefully easily retracted, or like not engage in physical actions that causes harm, but are we also able to not cause mental harm, would be my point today to think about, for you to reflect. What can you do, or what can you say, or what can you adjust to not cause harm mentally for someone else as well? And especially with all the violences or domestic violence that can take within the house context, especially during this time as well, there is a rise where people cannot actually manage themselves, and therefore the providence of loving kindness meditation is quite important, that we actually appreciate each other's presence. We appreciate each other by realizing the interconnectedness concept, where we depend on each other, and therefore when we depend on each other, we can then appreciate each other's presence even, and we also then develop the ability to share. Where we cannot share, then there is a big problem, and that is where we can start at all times. So with that short reflection, we will continue to actually work on this loving kindness in our meditation. So we will do Punyanamodana, or we'll do the dedication after our meditation. So let us now prepare ourselves for meditation. So first of all, I have 3 requests. Adjust your body, that is sitting straight. Avoid resting your elbows if you have been. Unless you have a physical difficulty, avoid resting your back as well. So coming forward and keeping your body straight and balanced. So not slanting on either side. And thirdly, eyes gently closed. So back straight, hands to yourself, right hand on your left palm, and eyes gently closed. So just to supplement what we have been discussing on well-being and mental health, first of all, it is quite important to now free yourself from everything, which I mean even your thinking and thoughts that might arise and distract you. The symbol of that is your upright body and dedication to keep the body as it is. So you have freed yourself from all your evening duties and are joining and participating. So be mindful of that. So when we are mindful of our situations, there is less distraction, less wandering of the mind. So with that mindfulness, just notice your presence, the way you are sitting. Notice the stillness in your body. Other days it might be in motion at this time of the hour. You might be busy doing something, but now you are very still, even in contrast to before 7 p.m. Your body is not moving, it's not in motion, so it's still. And also observe the fact that there is no restlessness in the body. Your body is not moving, you have put great effort to put the body in that posture. Because restlessness can be a sign of what is going through your head. So when we are freeing ourselves from everything, your body also seems to rest a little bit. So the lack of restlessness is also to be noted, as much as the stillness is noted. if you have friends or family that are staying with you during this observance or meditation, just notice their presence and be thankful for the mutual support and their support. Don't worry about those that have not come and sat down with you, but just appreciate each other's presence and support. And going a bit further, just notice the infrastructure in your room, hall, wherever you are. Just notice the layout. Be mindful of it. And as we are gradually developing that stillness in the mind, if you notice that freeing yourself from everything is actually peaceful, you're not in a rush to finish this. Imagine you had something to attend to, you would be rushing. So freeing yourself from everything is peaceful. And that peace of mind, that happiness is great. See that happiness in yourself. Notice that happiness in yourself. At the time you'll always be churning ideas and thinking of this and planning, and even planning to how to talk, planning what to do. Now you are just completely free. That is an experience which only you can feel, because you know the way your mind is now. So the more you free, the more there is peace in the mind. The more you can make your mind still, there is happiness and peace. If your mind is very active and expecting and looking for things, the potential to wander is the indication. Always looking for things, looking to entertain, looking to nurture the personality or ego, your likes, even to nurture your dislikes. All of this comes from memories or planning. But as soon as you free yourself from all of this, there is complete happiness. And now you don't have any of those thoughts. And see that happiness. Notice that absence of wandering. Notice that absence of planning. Notice that absence of freeing from memories or worries. So looking at the opposite picture. So where there is no thinking, where there is no wandering, there is happiness. So why does the mind wander? Why does the mind always look for things? So it is nurturing that expectation or like that one has, or even the craving that the mind has with the fixed view that they have developed. And it is this that creates the gap between your present moment and that happiness. Every moment is to be considered. Even when you talk, do you expect something from someone? You go to a house, do you expect something? You go to a shop, do you expect it to be the way you want? You drive, do you expect to be green lights every time? When you drive, do you expect someone to not overtake you? When you go shopping, do you expect everything to be there in one place? All of these are expectations create problems. Because expectation simply brings dissatisfaction. And if a person is getting dissatisfied every 5 seconds, arguing over remote control, arguing over the food, arguing over simple things, your personal space, then the dissatisfaction is just taking place predominantly in your mind, and then the peace of mind is gone. The huffing and puffing all the time one does is because there is no kindness. And as I said, you can only achieve this by freeing yourself from all of those conditions that you lay out. Dittincha anupagamma silava, if one is restrained, if one is controlling the senses and the thinking and wandering mind, and even freeing oneself from the views, the fixed views, there is complete happiness, an environment where you can develop this kind of well-wishing thoughts. If predominantly there is dissatisfaction, then what happens is you result in frustration, you result in anxiety, fear, impatience, lack of concerns when there is impatience and fear and anxiety, or even frustration most importantly. So you don't want to be kind, you get angry, you get envious sometimes. And because of that, you can't appreciate other people's success or prosperity, so you get jealous. So they're all manifestation of this dissatisfaction that has not pleased your expectation. So in loving kindness, it is about that freedom that you can give to your mind, which then, once you have experienced that freedom of everything, freedom from anxiety, freedom from worry, freedom from impatience, freedom from irritation, anger, ill will, envy, you name it. Once you have experienced that, then you can aspire for that. That is the true well-being attitude that we need to develop from metta. That is kindness, true kindness. That is the readiness. Once you've experienced that, you are ready for other people as well. Your contribution to the other person is from that approach. You are not going to be a factor for dissatisfaction of the other person, for the anger of the other person, for the pain of the other person, for the frustration of the other person, but simply being a factor for similar well-being that you wish for yourself or aspire for yourself. Going back to the verse that we said, attanam upamankatva, taking oneself as an example. Would you say something that you would not want to be told? Would you do something that you would not want to be done? So with that short reflection on metta, you can repeat these words in your mind as we meditate, wishing goodness, happiness, freeing oneself from everything, and sharing that with those that you are associated with. May I be well, happy and peaceful. Genuinely wish that. May I be well, happy and peaceful. Strong, powerful wishes. It's not selfish wish, it's just aspiration, so that you work towards it. May I be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to me. May no problems come to me. May no difficulties come to me. May I always meet with success. May I also have the patience, courage and determination to meet and overcome difficulties in life. May I be free from anger and jealousy. May I be free from frustration, anxiety and worries. May I be free from pain and suffering. And we share similar thoughts with those that you're associated with, not because you associate with them, but because that is the way we can start developing this ultimate practice of love and kindness and compassion. So we start with the ones that are close to you, so seniors to juniors. Don't recall them if they have passed away or they don't relate to you, just skip the stations. May my parents, grandparents, teachers, uncles and aunts and in-laws, husband, wife or partner, children and grandchildren, brothers and sisters, brothers-in-law and sisters-in-law, and other relatives. Friends and colleagues at work, neighbors, and those that you share a smile with when you meet but don't talk. May they all be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to them. May no problems come to them. May no difficulties come to them. May they always meet with success. May they also have the patience, courage and determination to meet and overcome difficulties in life. May they be free from anger and jealousy. May they be free from frustration and anxiety and worries. May they be free from pain and suffering. May all living beings, including your pets, birds, animals, insects that come to your garden, seen and unseen beings, including all sentient beings, be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to them. May no problems come to them. May no difficulties come to them. May they always meet with success. May they also have the patience, courage and determination to meet and overcome difficulties in life. May they be free from pain and suffering. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So with that meditation, meditation on loving kindness, we come to a close of today's religious observance and broadcast. And as you know, we go live every day at 7 o'clock, sharing our religious observances here from the London Mindfulness Meditation Center. And we started this series of program ever since we moved to this new premise and started observing our rains retreat from the full moon day of July. So the last full moon day, the 3 months retreat was completed with success with the support of many devotees and well-wishers. And this holy month of Kathina, we continue the program to finish off not coming Saturday, but next Saturday, the 24th of October, with our robe offering ceremony from 9 to 3 p.m. So devotees have been sponsoring, and today Mrs. Anika Ranasinghe and Mr. Chatura Ranasinghe, along with their son Caden Ranasinghe and parents Sandhya and Suraj Veerratna and brother Aaron Veerratna, would like to share merit with the beloved grandparents of Mrs. Anika Ranasinghe, George Veerratna and Senaga Jayatilaka and Indrani Piris, and also Uncle Parakum Jayatilaka, and Mr. Chatur Ranasinghe's grandparents, Mr. Sirisom Ranasinghe, Mrs. Violet Ranasinghe, Mr. Terry Dharmasena and Mrs. Padmini Dharmasena. So may all, and many more relatives who have passed away in their family, may they all receive the merit. May the merit by observing 5 precepts, worshipping the Buddha, listening to a short reflection from the Dhammapada, and meditating on loving kindness, Dana Sila Bhavana, may all merit accumulated be conducive for their well-being. If they are in an unfortunate state of condition, may they receive our blessings and be peaceful, and may they be born in a more blissful state. If they are in a good state, may they prosper and also rejoice in our punya karma. May their sansaric lives be happy, and may they eventually attain the blissful state of Nibbana. So with those righteous and kind intentions, we say sadhu 3 times. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And the intention was also to bless those that are celebrating their birthdays soon. So Miss Dinugi Samarakot, Mr. Chatur Ranasinghe, Mr. Aaron Veerratna, Mrs. Anika Ranasinghe and Mrs. Shirani Ranasinghe, who are celebrating their birthdays soon, would also like to share this merit, and may all merit accumulated today be conducive for your wholesome well-being. May you have a very good happy birthdays ahead. May all the blessings of the triple gem be conducive for your complete well-being. May you be blessed for good health, happiness, success and prosperity. And we from the London Mindfulness Meditation Center and the online community would also like to wish you in advance happy birthday and ahead. So with those kind intentions, they have joined us, and Mrs. Anika Ranasinghe and Mr. Chatur Ranasinghe and family have sponsored the event. All in all, may all your righteous aspirations also be fulfilled, and you as an online community may also be well, happy and peaceful. May you be blessed by the Buddha Dhamma Sangha. During this time of difficulty, may you stay safe and be protected and have complete wholesome well-being and develop peace of mind. So with those thoughts, we come to a conclusion, or we conclude this program today. So sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So do join us tomorrow at 7 o'clock if you're free, and we will continue with our observance. Tomorrow is Thursday, so we have our weekly practice of mindfulness meditation. So at 7:30, after our worship and chanting, we will continue with our weekly session on mindfulness. So do join us if you're free. Thank you very much. Have a very good evening. Take care, stay safe, and have a good night.